You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Chrissie, and joining me is my co-host, Thad. Thad, how are you doing today? Let me get the universal translator going so I can understand that.
Yeah, assume I said something in rhyme, I guess.
Yeah. All right, and also joining us today is Chris from First Flight Pod. Chris, thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm really thirsty. Good compare, but I'm grateful to be asked to come on this podcast, talk about Whistlespeak.
Yes, all right, cool. And before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make this show possible, particularly our associate producer, Carl Wonders. Listeners, you can hear your name listed as one of our associate producers for a monthly subscription of just $10 at patreon.com/BQN. And with a monthly Patreon subscription of just $5, you can join our BQN Star Trek script table reads. Watch your Patreon messages for information on this and other fun opportunities with your collective. They did one of those last night. By the time this comes out, I think it'll be out. It was Cupid. Yeah.
Oh, fun.
So I was like, I kind of wanted to be in on that, but couldn't do it this time around. All right, well, don't really have any specific Star Trek news, but the CEO of Paramount, Bob Bakish, is out as of this week. So, maybe they'll bring in somebody who thinks that we should have more lower decks. That would be good.
Bob Bakish is out of the CEO. Currently, there are 3 people running as a conglomerate interim CEO: Chris McCarthy, George Cheeks, and Brian Robbins. I am not someone who is super ear to the ground on the business end of things, so I couldn't tell you a thing about any of those people. But yeah, and in the meantime, the possible sale of Paramount is still a possibility
Out there.
At the end of the exclusivity window that they had with Skydance for to reach an agreement for a sale ends at the end of this week, I believe. And Apollo Capital, who I think we've talked about already about doing this, has joined forces with Sony to give an all-cash offer to buy Paramount, which could be interesting. For me personally, Apollo, being a large private equity company that owns many companies, they also own my employer. So, I mean, if this is how I get on Star Trek, okay.
Interesting. All right, you're going to have an in that none of the rest of us do.
Remember us small people when you get up there.
All right,
to the high summit.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully, whatever happens, it means good news for more Star Trek. That's really all I can say.
I think regardless of how the sale goes, I think we're still going to get more Star Trek. I don't see anyone purchasing Paramount and saying, hey, let's see about canceling your most profitable IPs because, we want you to lose more money. I just don't see... we're going to get more Star Trek because it's one of Paramount's tried and true brands. It's not going anywhere.
It's a signature brand, right?
Yeah. I mean, like half of Paramount Plus is being held up by Star Trek people who watch Star Trek at least once a week or something. I don't remember what the numbers were from a few weeks ago, but It was definitely
I want to say it was
eye-opening.
like something like 20 or 30% of all Paramount Plus subscribers watch Star Trek, and it was a really high percentage of Paramount Plus subscribers who watch Star Trek also watch other Star Trek,
Yeah.
which makes perfect sense.
Which, yeah, you can't just watch one.
Surprise.
You got to open your
yeah,
bag of chips.
What's this
how
once
many-
a week thing too? Like what?
It was a minimum.
What's a
of.
How
day?
many people
Minimum.
do you know that have only ever watched one Star Trek series? Like
None under the age of 60.
on Paramount Plus. I'm not talking about the people who watched TOS in the 60s.
Yes. there
Well,
you
my
go.
sister only watched Picard season 3. That was it.
Interesting.
She's very, very super casual. Like we grew up watching TNG, but mostly Voyager, and she watched season 3 of Picard just from nostalgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
She went back and watched Preemptive Strike because I told her to before a certain episode.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so maybe there's people like that out there.
But I bet if she's a Voyager fan, she probably sometimes watches Voyager.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no.
No, my parents will do that sometimes. Yeah, but
There you go.
Okay, fair enough.
very
Yeah.
casual.
All right. Well, so that's it on the news for this week. So let's.
Yeah, we still don't have Nielsen numbers, I don't think.
We won't until the season's over.
Hey,
It seems
I
like
mean,
at this point.
The only thing I can say is when Paramount gets sold, it means they can actually greenlight new things. Like they can't greenlight
Right.
anything right now. That's why we're not going to
Mhm.
get Legacy or anything like that
Mhm.
until it's sold. So let's go.
This is true. Yeah.
I just checked the Nielsen's. This isn't super great. They do have for the first week of April, and Star Trek Discovery is not on it.
Oh. Okay.
Which, considering that we got 2 episodes that week, is not great.
No.
Because it's based on number of minutes of a show watched. And now, admittedly, there were people that did not watch it in the first...
7
first
days.
3 days of
Yeah.
it. Well, 3 days in this case, because it's
Yeah.
April 1st through 7th.
Right.
So it may very well make it for the following week, but this is a period where where the season premiered with 2 episodes. So I would say that it's probably not looking great for Discovery.
Well,
Gee,
But are
they
they
might cancel.
advertising
Yeah.
outside of Paramount, right? I mean,
Right.
Paramount
Right.
Plus, you get your advertisement, but outside of that, what are they doing?
Yeah, that's fair. I saw advertisements for Picard and Strange New Worlds out in the real world.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can't recall a Discovery advertisement or a billboard or anything
No.
like that.
Not for this season.
No, it used to be for quite a long period. I think they finally took it down, but my local Walmart for I'd say it was probably a year or more had a giant poster of Captain Pike right inside the front door because
Nice.
Walmart has a deal with Paramount Plus for like you can get
Yeah.
subscribe to it for like a discounted rate or something if you're a Walmart whatever Walmart's like
The membership
rewards
thing.
program thing is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Too bad you couldn't get them to give that to you. Would have been cool.
I know, right?
All right. So, Whistlespeak. I'm not going to try to whistle. But there you go.
There we go.
Thank you, Compeer Chris. We start out with the vial. That's the clue, and it is apparently just filled with water. And I didn't ask first impressions. Chris, what was your initial thoughts on this episode?
Oh, it felt like a great episode of season 1 through 5 Stargate SG-1. That was my first initial reaction.
Okay.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I can see
They're in
that.
the woods they're in Canadian woods, running around, talking about
Mhm.
false gods, competing in some kind of trials to unlock an ancient technology, right?
I hadn't even considered that, but absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course it would be Daniel instead of Tilly.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
But yeah, I like the episode. It's not like top 10 Star Trek, but it's just like good workman Star Trek episode,
No.
very classic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, it would have been Daniel and Sam starting out, and then Sam would have been the one that went off to look at
The moss. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Interesting.
Whereas Jack would have been at the finish line just saying snarky things.
Yep. And with a big old bottle of water.
And Teal'c would be disqualified because he has Junior.
Yes.
I gotta rewatch Stargate. Okay.
Me too.
Yeah. So, Thad, first impressions on that, other than
I loved
Stargate.
this episode.
Me too.
I love when Star Trek... first off, I love when Star Trek is just like, screw the Prime Directive, because I have long been of the opinion that the Prime Directive is total BS. And...
Well, we can have that discussion another time, but yeah.
I think we have had that discussion
Yeah,
before.
we have.
But yeah, I love when they have to deal with a society and their beliefs and try to actually like respect those beliefs and work with them, but also accomplish their goals, which, as Chris was saying, feels very Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
Although SG-1's like, Prime Directive, what?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Gods
yeah,
are
'cause
false.
Well, in SG-1's case, the Prime Directive wouldn't apply for any of these people
None of it.
because
We want your
because the
technology.
because they came from Earth. The Gould
Mhm.
transplanted these people to different planets. But also, that's why the Prime Directive doesn't apply in this episode either, because the Denobulan scientists who made those towers already changed the natural flow of their development.
There has already been shenanigans. Yes.
Yeah.
They would all be dead
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
centuries ago. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why the Prime Directive is BS. Because you should not use the argument that you can't interfere with a society as a rationale for letting them die.
But I like the Prime Directive as a piece of creating tension, right?
Yes.
For our
There you
characters
go.
to think through something.
And
right?
I do agree that in general, the Prime Directive should mean that you should not be able to tell any other society what they should and should not do.
Yes. Yes.
But the usage of it and I think the show is telling us that it agrees with me in that it's basically showing that Michael is like, yeah, well, the Prime Directive, Shrime Directive, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, think of Kaminar. Like, Discovery does these
Mm-hmm.
major things all the time.
Yep, and I've forgotten the planet, but in New Eden.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
that didn't count,
mhm.
though. That shouldn't have counted because it was human.
It shouldn't have,
Yeah.
but they were all saying it did.
I
but
know.
Pike is just like, nah, I'm going to show this guy anyway.
Because he understood that it shouldn't have counted.
Mm-hmm. It really shouldn't have. They were from Earth.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So we have the vial with the distilled water. Burnham makes some suggestions about looking up historical things and anthropological things because this is going to be a Burnham is the anthropologist episode.
You can take the Xeno out of an anthropologist, but you can't take the... Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
I lost that.
it.
I love that. I love that because I have started sentences like that describing myself. Like you can take the bookseller out of the bookstore, but you can't take the book out of the what? Yeah, because it never works. There's like two things that works with, but so I love that. Yes. But she finds out from Kovich, who has a as my graduate advisor called it, an office supply fetish, because he likes real paper,
Yeah.
which I think is awesome. Real dead tree paper too, from the 21st century.
Mhm.
So he's got the list of scientists, but he tells Burnham that Mullen Locke, looking for Mullen Locke, has been taken over by the Lockerer, which I'm sure is supposed to be a reference to someone or something that I did not look up.
Yes, I think we talked about this in a previous episode.
Oh, we
That
did.
was,
Yes.
The camera operator, I think?
Yes.
It's also a German Catholic theologian from 1790. There's religious aspects in this
Cool.
episode, but I doubt that's what it is. referring to.
Yeah, that
You get a lot of
Yes,
German Catholics in
and
that
I'm sorry,
era.
it was
Okay.
it was J.P. Lucker, cinematographer.
Okay.
So I was.
You were
I mean,
close.
I suppose a cinematographer and a camera operator are more or
Related.
less the same thing, but
Mm,
at the same time, cinematographer is the official job title, and
Yeah.
I'm sure I just made the cinematographers who listen to us very mad. So I'm sorry.
Please feel free to correct us. It was not intentional.
Feel free to explain the difference between cinematography and camera operation.
Yes.
I assume one is the cinematographer actually decides where the camera goes, and the camera operator does what they tell them. But
That makes sense. So
yes,
yeah. So
J.P.
we
Lucker,
have.
cinematographer, and yes, the ship was named for him because it first showed up in the episode that was dedicated to him.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, can I go back to the vial for a second?
Yo, please, yeah.
Absolutely.
My critique is I wish we clearly saw the scratch marks on it.
Yeah.
I went back to that so many times. Like, where are the scratch marks? Like, where's the clue? I know they said it was slightly damaged, but we never saw the scratch marks.
It's like you kind of get a slight glimpse of it as it's going past, and that's it.
But I do love the TNG style methodical, just logicking. It reminds me of like Data and Troy figuring out what Darmok is, right? They're just thinking through it with the computer, doing research, and it's not flashy. There's no shortcuts, as Michael said. They're just logicking their way through a problem, and I don't know. That's something that makes me very happy in Star Trek.
I could watch scenes like this all day. Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
Yep. In a boardroom, even better.
Yeah, with a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
All right. So we have he gives us a list of scientists. We knew Janelle Bix, of course. We knew Carmen Cho, of course. We're about to know Hitoshi Creel, and we knew Velik. I don't think Derek's gets actually introduced or talked about in this episode at all.
I like that the Betazoid's name is Marina.
Yeah,
yes,
isn't that nice?
is obviously a reference to Marina Sirtis, the actress who plays the most notable Betazoid in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yes. Though not the most flamboyant.
No.
No.
So, all right.
I feel like naming the Betazoid Majel would have been a little too on the nose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was just being...
Marina Majel.
Yeah.
It would be MA''JEL.
That would have been good then.
Majel.
All right. So then we go to Culber, who is talking to his grandmother, and I had a moment where I forgot that they were in the 32nd century.
Same.
Me too.
Because I was like, oh, that's nice. He called his... Wait.
So, this, for some reason, didn't occur to me until I read the Trek Core review. How does the holographic grandma from his head know the secret about the food? If he didn't know.
Maybe he did know and he was testing to see how the Matrix was running.
Okay.
Maybe. Or
maybe like his subconscious, he always knew but didn't really.
I don't understand how any of that. I mean, he says, oh, this is just like my grandmother. Well, of course it is. You programmed it.
Right. Well, I think his assumption is that he didn't program it. It just read his...
It's AI reading his mind about his grandma, right? So maybe the AI extrapolated that she would replicate the stuff.
Well, if it's anything like some of the AI stuff we have today, it can make up all sorts of weird stuff. So that...
I'm sure it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
in the 32nd century.
I hope. I guess, yeah, I didn't think of that as like him getting a what would we call a memory scan or something, and then getting turned into a hologram.
I read it as it was being like a live scan, so it would react in the moment, right? But
yeah, that was my assumption.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
pretty
totally
cool,
didn't
though.
go that deep. It is, and he was talking about using it as a means for grief therapy, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like that would be just making it so that the person's still there whenever you want them to be, and you're not actually dealing with it. but maybe
I
that's
mean, I
just me.
lost my mom about 2 years ago, and would I want to have a conversation with a version of her? But what if someone does have issues they need to resolve with someone who's
That's true.
no longer alive that they can't resolve, and that might be a healthy way to get past a block, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even Pike said he wanted to go on a boat and have a quote conversation with his dad, right? In Those Old Scientists. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how healthy or not. I imagine, as with most things, it can be healthy or it can be unhealthy depending on the application and the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a Barclay situation where you just have a holodeck full of all of your dead relatives.
Did Jake create a hologram of his dad? Because his dad didn't actually die. And so how do you mourn? And then he gets like stuck visiting his holographic dad, in Quarks.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be dangerous.
No, but it is an interesting idea either way, and it does get us to the point of he is reminded to look at the scientific and the physical before he starts looking for something beyond that, which is something, I think we all have moments in our life where what should be so obvious is the last thing we think of. There's a YouTube gamer that I used to watch. He played Mario Maker all the time. His name was Dashy, and there was one thing he occasionally got unintentionally profound, and he says sometimes the easiest solution is the last thing on your mind. And I actually I made a little, put that on a piece of paper and stuck it on my office door because it's so true. For him it was trying to figure out how to get to the end of the level, but it's just, you'd think that would be the first place where he'd go, but it wasn't. So that was a nice way to get to that point.
I really like that this scene too picks up on the let's carefully think methodically through a problem. Just like we saw with Stamets, Tilly, and Michael. We have A and B story. The crew are just thinking through their problems.
Yes. Very Trek. There's a solution. We just have to find it. So just because Culber's like on the side of the larger story, so just to go through what goes on there, he's going to talk to Paul and ask him to help him run a neural scan, which makes Paul very concerned, of course, as you can understand that. On the way, he runs into Book, and Book's twitchy and wants something to do, and that's a feeling I know well, because you're like, oh, I have time to do nothing, and I don't know how to do that. So he recommends that he relax so that he can be ready when he's needed again, and that's always a good thing to remember. The neural scan comes up clean, and Culber is maybe more confused than before, because I think he really kind of set his hat on, oh, maybe there's something weird going on in my head now. But Paul, who is incredibly not spiritual, says, well, if you know that there's nothing wrong with you, go with it, enjoy it, which I think is not a bad bit of advice.
And Paul's like, he clearly places this experience in the realm of the material, because he's like, all the connections of the billions of neurons and the thousands of connections between them, saying the outcome of all those connections is creating this feeling, right?
Yeah.
Not a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
Or the spiritual experience is a result of those physical connections. Yeah.
Which I think is a really, that's not a new idea by any means, but it's an interesting way to look at it.
But I do love how supportive he's being.
Yeah.
And, there's no like, come on, man, this religious stuff, what?
Yeah.
Right. But he clearly puts it in the camp of materialism.
Which is very Trek, and, gets into shadows the other part of the story, I suppose you could say. I thought it was interesting, the thing that Book mentioned how humans have this thing about thinking that things aren't important if they're only for themselves,
Yeah.
which was both, I felt was quite profound, but at the same time, I think is only part of the human condition. It's maybe the humans he's run into who are not selfish,
Mhm.
but
Well, think about it this way. Like, growing up, I was the only Star Trek fan that I knew
mhm,
besides my family. Now it's like even better because I get to share it, although it's mediated through,
mhm.
social media and stuff or a
Mhm.
podcast. So it becomes more special. But was it less special back then when it was just me? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe we just like to share things. We're
I think that's it.
That is the human experience, yes.
yeah, we're very what's the word I'm looking for?
Social.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, I suppose that is the word I was looking for. I was trying to think of like a pack animal thing. That's what I was trying to say, but just
We're
social makes more
herd
sense.
mentality.
Yeah.
Herds. Yes, we run in herds.
Tribal.
Tribal. All of those things. Okay.
Good compere, Chrissie.
Yes, xenoanthropologist is not working in my head today.
They took the Xeno out of you.
Yeah. Xenoanthropologist, first of all, I think I've talked about
Makes
this
no
before.
sense.
It makes no sense
Yeah.
because it's unless you're studying human cultures on other planets, in which then that makes sense. But okay,
So
fine.
it does make sense on Stargate.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
So off to the planet we go, where they learn the Whistlespeak, or where they speak with the Whistlespeak. Dr. Creel set up a bunch of weather towers, 5, as a matter of fact. Michael just kind of waxes poetic about the anthropological elements of this, which I absolutely love. And I love how Tilly's
Yeah.
like, hey, you want to come teach? Like, okay, maybe you get that impression. We might see
Sign me
Some
up.
foreshadowing there for
Yeah.
what's happening on the Academy show.
Yeah, special guest
lecturer.
star. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they get all this awesome technology, including tricorders on their eyeballs.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Like, wow. Okay. And they go join a group of pilgrims, and they all call themselves compeers. Which I was thinking comrade peers, but then Chris looked it up, and it's a French derivation, and now I can't remember what you said.
Late 14th century Old French compere. I can't speak French.
Sorry.
It's a friendly greeting,
Compere.
which means friend, brother, or, the com means with,
Mm-hmm.
and
Latin.
peer means equal. So that
Okay.
makes sense because their language doesn't see social status, right?
Yeah.
And so that term really supported that idea, which was really cool.
Yeah. I like that. I'm glad they didn't use something that was familiar, like comrade.
It would be compare in French, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
I just looked it
Yes.
up. I wasn't sure how it's spelled. I had to look it up, but yeah, compare.
Yes.
Which is, interestingly, in modern French means godfather.
Yes. Saw that. Yeah. And derived from the Latin pater. So
Mhm.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
lest we turn this into a linguistics podcast. So
I think it's appropriate because
Yeah.
Michael goes full linguistic, there. My brain was like, Hoshi would love this.
Oh, I love the thing with the whistles because it reminded me of whales, right?
Yeah.
It's a type of sound that's being produced that can go long distances without amplification, and it's just so cool.
And it's beautiful, too. It
Mhm.
was really cool and poetic. It's a formalized way of speaking, which was just something unique we haven't seen in Star Trek, which is amazing that a series can do something that we haven't seen before.
Yeah. All the more reason that I'm sad that this is the last season, and I keep saying that too. So
Yeah.
So they run into this other group of pilgrims, and they are apparently like 2 minutes away from where they were headed, because by the time they're done having a conversation about who they are, they're there, which is a good thing because I don't know if she was the leader of the group, but the woman that they were talking to, who we found out later is named Aenar, has lung damage from being out in the dust.
For an entire night, breathing dust
Yeah.
just sounds horrible.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Did you get the impression that they were going to fix the other towers, or maybe send somebody to fix the other towers?
No, it didn't sound
I
like
didn't
they
either.
were, which I thought was weird. Like, you'd think they would. Especially assuming all they need is the maintenance that they could show the people. I would have thought they would set up the other towers.
Yeah.
Maybe the other ones need more repair than
maybe.
that. Maybe they were damaged by the sandstorms over time, and the core of Starfleet engineering will come.
There we go. All right.
Or second contact.
Yes.
An advanced California class will come.
Yes. Cerritos F or something. Yeah.
It would be F for Cerritos.
Okay, I wasn't even going there, but yeah, that's true. Yeah. So she's got this cough, and they fix it with this sonic ritual, which I don't know if that's a good way to put it, but it seemed to make sense
It was
to me.
awesome.
Particularly because right ahead
does
of
make
it,
sense.
Because Tilly mentions about something sonic could could deal with it, and then that's exactly what they do.
Sonic percussion or something like that.
Yes, that's it.
And I assume the point is the dust has sort of packed itself in the lungs, and the sound loosens it so that it can be coughed up.
Yeah.
Which I am not a doctor, but it sounds plausible to me.
Well, and you saw it doing that to sand in the candles and stuff like that. Like you saw its effect. So that was really cool and surprising and unique again.
Mm-hmm.
Good Star Trek going on.
Oh, yeah. And in the process of that ritual, they meet Rava, because they bring them to the place at the bottom of the mountain, I guess. And then Ovaz is the one who performs the ritual. They find out about the other towers, and they just need to find the control panel to fix it. And we learn just enough about the journey of the Mother Compeer. Just enough that we don't actually know what's happening. What do you guys think about this? Like, did you suspect that it was a death race from the get-go, or what?
No, I didn't.
No, neither did
I.
I.
No, I had the same reaction as Tilly did.
Yep.
Sacrifice?
That was good. Sacrifice. And on second watch, I wasn't sure if Rava knew it either. But I think she did.
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because on third watch, I'm like, no, she did. And I think, and Aenar is the same, because she's talking about her friend, and
who won,
and she just talks about how, I wonder what it would be like to be, old and wrinkled together. But that doesn't necessarily mean she died because of the race, So you don't catch that the first time, and I think that was really good writing.
Well, that's why Michael's like, she knows something is being said to her that she needs to consider, but she's not sure what it is.
Yeah, because Tilly asks if she's okay, and she's like,
I think.
Maybe.
But I do like how the Mother Compeer story is just, they're trying to understand how everything's working and are seeing conveniences and creating a whole mythology out of it, right?
And it's the story in itself is one of those, like so many myths about, somebody sacrificing themselves to save their children or whoever, or sacrificing, not necessarily fully sacrificing themselves, but sacrificing something.
How did you all feel about the ingesting of the little white cubes? As they're doing, I'm like, don't do that. Scan it first. Like, please.
Yes.
I really wonder what the heck that is, that it can just eating that, it was like a little square of paper basically that they put on their tongue, and
Salt?
It suddenly dries out their whole mouth. Yeah.
So, yeah. Whenever we have members of our crew who go somewhere and they don't know, they've never been there before, no humans have ever been there before, and they eat something, I just want to scream at them.
Yes.
Don't do that.
But it was well conceived. I really liked the
Yes.
the whole idea of the race and being thirsty and being tempted. There's bowls of water the whole way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the
I mean,
last
there's-
two racers having to hold the water as they go. Really well thought out.
Yes. Yes. It felt very capital C Catholic to me.
Yes.
a lot of
yes.
ways,
Punish yourself.
because it's the whole- Here, we're gonna sacrifice. You have to sacrifice something, and here's some guilt on top of it as well. If you can't actually make it to the end while you're holding the water, recovering Catholicism. Okay, but yeah, it was cool. One of the things I liked most about it in the moment was we have that wonderful parallel of from the first season when Michael was helping Tilly in her training. And here they
Yeah.
are, they're running this race. And it's not the kind of thing I expected a callback to, but then there it is. And you're like, oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tilly was doing better than Michael was.
Yes.
Like when Michael has to rest, Tilly's like just running around her. She's not going to stop.
See, that's
object
the
in
that's
motion.
the captain. Captain doesn't have to run around as much. You got to run around a lot to get there, but then once you're there, I did like the whole body in motion thing though. I think she's right about that,
Yes.
because I think if she had stopped, because the moment she does stop, when she seems to have that like, I don't know, moment of lightheadedness or whatever. But yeah, that was nicely done. So then we figure out the control panel, or where the control panel is, because of irradiated moss.
I
Sure.
joined Starfleet to scan Moss.
Like,
I
how
had
does
to,
she
had
know
to drop
that
that
that's? Oh yeah. How does she know? That there isn't just, it's just, it's blue on that side of the, ridge or something. I just, again, it's that jump that
no,
not supposed to ask the
she's a
question.
scientist making a hypothesis,
go.
right?
actually that's true. She doesn't
this
know what
episode
absolute
is
certainty.
so
Also, like us going immediately to radiation was interesting to me, because I would think it could just as easily be something leaking from the that's not radioactive, but some
Mhm.
other chemical that's causing it to be like. I mean, we have plants that are different colors depending on the acidity of the soil.
Mhm.
So, like,
again
Yeah.
hypothesis,
yeah.
and she turned out
Yeah.
to be right.
Mhm.
So
Don't think too hard.
again, I like they're thinking through
I
things.
will say, looking at this planet, not the yellow moss, but like with the turquoise leaves and like the reddish dirt, I keep thinking, oh, I should be wearing 3D glasses when watching this, because it looks like the sort of thing that you would have where you have those red and blue 3D glasses.
Yes. Okay.
on-
I was
on-
trying to think of
on a
was
related
this is
note.
referencing something that I haven't seen. It looks like something. Okay. Go ahead.
On a
Sorry.
related note, I just love all the outdoor shoots that we get this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's again harkening back to Stargate. To save money, they're just going to the local forest and shooting.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada.
Just put some blue over here, and this is over there, and yeah, they have oak trees on all planets. It's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oak and maple trees.
Yeah, and in this case, it's just a regular forest that they're post-production changing the colors.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it makes sense. Any humanoid life that comes from their progenitors need
That's
oxygen
true.
and trees
Mhm.
are, all
Mhm.
that. So we're all related.
Yeah.
I love that Discovery has just bought in on this whole design aesthetic of an alien species with just some marks on their head. Not even prosthetics, just like pencil mark on their head. Just it's full TOS. Like it's okay.
Mhm.
It's part of Star Trek, and I love it.
It works very well. Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially in the context of the progenitor
Yeah,
storyline. So,
yeah.
right. So Michael drops out. She figures out the control panel. She scans it with her eyeball tricorder and sends it up to Adira, who is very nervous about being on the bridge. But they seem to have figured out what they needed to do
Mhm.
to get comfortable with it, and talks Michael through fixing the control panel. So
I like that we learned just through a quick aside there that they had asked Rayner for more time on the bridge, and he was just like, "Yeah, go
yeah,
for it."
yeah, which is reasserting again that's the first officer's job is,
Mhm.
crew assignments. So that makes perfect sense, and also the whole thing about they're being very concerned because they brought the bug on and they didn't know it,
Mhm.
and it's not their fault, and everybody's telling Adira that, but So
Perfect.
Michael figures out how to fix the control panel, or with Adira,
Mhm.
and then we end up with Tilly and Rava as the last of the racers. And Rava drops her water, but Tilly then gives them some of her water, so that they can all finish the race. The two of them can finish the race
Yeah,
together. I didn't say that very well, but okay. Um.
that's a standard trope in
Oh yeah.
movies and TV shows and whatnot. So that part I expected.
hmm It was beautifully done. I think if we had gotten a little more of Ovaz watching it happen,
Mhm.
because there could have been that moment of like, oh,
Yeah.
thank God that she's,
Yeah.
Relief on his
they're
part.
not gonna die, and then it's like no, no.
Yeah.
So then we find out that the vacuum chamber that created the rain got turned into a sacrificial vault.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm sure it happened. I'm sure it happened accidentally one time. They had an issue. Rain wasn't happening, so they sent someone up there, and then just by sheer coincidence, it started raining after that,
maybe in
or something like that.
the mechanism went into effect when they were in there, and then it was.
Right.
Oh, and see here, I was thinking, did this probably started maliciously, but
I don't think so.
I don't think so because the story, the mother compare, she sacrificed herself to bring
Yeah.
water to
true.
others. And then later generations like, oh, it's not raining. We need to find a way to sacrifice ourselves
Yeah.
so the rain will come. But we're not violent people, so we're not just gonna like burn you at the stake or whatever. But go up here and you can suffocate uh, without
Yeah,
anyone being able to
it's
see
fine.
or hear you. That's good. That's better.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's the lucky chosen, the honorable ones, right? I
Mhm.
feel like they call them the chosen ones or something when Michael asks if she can go
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
In retrospect, the fact that you have to win a race, like, kind of makes it worse because these people are going to last longer deprived of oxygen because they're going to have better circulatory systems from running that race. Because if
Or
they were able to win the race, they're the kind of person
They're
whose
healthy.
heart rate is going to be slower, etc., etc.
or they're so exhausted and worn out from the race, they need to rest or just go to sleep, and it's a nice relief.
That's
Yours is a
that's what
better
I was gonna
thought.
say. Yeah. That's why they do it right away. If they waited, till
Yeah.
the next day, then it would not work as well.
My thing though, as they're in that chamber, I'm like, blow out the fires. It's eating your oxygen. Get rid of the
Yeah.
fires. But I did like that the fires were getting
Also-
smaller. The flame were getting smaller as time was going
Yeah.
on. That was a smart
I
production.
didn't notice that. Oh, that's a
Mhm.
nice little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're stuck in this vacuum chamber, and they are supposed to pray next to this wall that has numbers on it, because that's going to help people remember the prayers. And they figure out that that's actually what's scratched on the water vial. And Burnham, as we said earlier, says to hell with the Prime Directive, goes in and saves their lives. hopefully ends the sacrifices.
Yeah, seems like that probably will happen.
Yeah.
An interesting conversation, though, where Ovaz is worried that it'll disrupt
Yes.
society, and that the sacrifices bring them all together. But I don't buy it, because there was no indication that there was any tension or any strife in society. Everyone's very friendly and helpful with each other, that we saw, at least, right?
Yeah.
So he made it sound like these are the Hunger Games, basically, and that this is what keeps the society together. But I guess within the time constraints of the story, we didn't get to see any of that kind of tension. If this was Stargate, we would have that one guy in the crowd that's like, "Hey, we can't stop," that's a dissenter. But we didn't get that here.
Yeah. And he says that earlier attempts to end the sacrifices were met with violence, which doesn't make sense. It's an almost throwaway line, except for the fact that they had earlier established that it seems to be such a peaceful society. So that was kind of odd to me. But
yeah, and sacrifice is a violence, right? So trading one violence for another,
Yeah, I suppose. People perceive things differently if they're not seeing them, and there's no blood.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do appreciate Michael's statements about how there's the story of the mother compare, and there's also us. So we haven't taken your beliefs away. We've just added to that, and now you have to wrestle with what that all means for yourselves. It's that interesting balancing line act that Star Trek does with faith and science, I guess.
Yeah, it's the idea of the morality tale is valid, irrelevant of the source. Whether it's the gods or merely myth.
When Michael's, this is nothing I've revealed to you disproves the gods. Yeah, and that's it. It reminds me a lot of DS9, where to Starfleet the prophets are the wormhole aliens, and to the Bajorans they're the prophets, and
they're both.
Just because they're aliens doesn't necessarily mean that they can't also be.
Yeah, they're outside of time, right? This also made me think about the Mintakans.
Yes.
Picard.
Oh, yeah.
But also last night I put on the Omega Directive and Seven's story about having a spiritual experience at the end with Janeway. So Star Trek has these moments where they're like, and even Picard in early TNG, when I think Data asks what's after life, I forget the exact conversation, but Picard's like, we don't know.
Yeah.
And we're cool with that. There might be nothing. There might be something.
I think that's the one with the big green frog face. Can't think of the name.
Yeah, if it is that one, I don't watch that one too often. Nagilum, I think.
Yes, Nagilum. Yes.
It's a blue or silvery face.
That's the bags of mostly water?
No, that's home soil.
Different.
Home soil. Okay, yeah.
I always thought Nagilum was
obviously
green.
I need to do an early TNG rewatch.
I think maybe silver. Nagilum might be silver.
Now I gotta look, because maybe it was I had my bad TV first time I watched
it. It's silver, I think. But I always think of it as blue because my nephew had a toy that had a face on it that looked just like Nagilum, but it was blue.
Well, I'm looking at. I'm seeing some green, but maybe it's just me.
But regardless, it is very interesting.
It's like a silvery green. Can we agree on that?
Sure. I was just gonna say I don't see colors well, so that's fine.
Regardless, it's interesting that Star Trek, after all these decades, is still taking this kind of respectful, middle of the road kind of stance, and it's not going pure hard sci-fi, which makes it pretty different in the sci-fi world, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, as a religious person myself, I find that interesting and respectful. It's not that it's claiming, Christianity is a thing, but it's just, hey, spirituality is part of the human condition. and we're going to recognize that occasionally on episodes, whatever that might mean to the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think pretty similar to how they handled it with New Eden as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although we know exactly what the Red Angel was in New Eden.
Yes.
No mystery there.
That's true.
Yeah, there's that.
Another mother.
But, sent by the gods, maybe. You never know. All right. And then we get back up to Discovery. We find out that Maul and Locke have been found. And we have the clue, and it had a metal card with it that has some writing on it. And
Betazoid
on to the
writing.
next. On to the next thing, yes. This was a very Trek episode.
Really,
very, very Trek.
it was very Trek, very Stargate SG-1. I really love the final conversation between Tilly and Michael, though, about
Mhm.
this is very Star Trek, very old school Star Trek, where they discuss what the lesson of the episode is, that you need to respect
Yes.
technology. It's a
Mhm.
great responsibility. And I think that's a big thing that, like, myself included, had not issues, but it was a lot to take in early Discovery where the lesson wasn't spelled out for us, right? And the philosophical ideas weren't spelled out for us. We had to mine it from the stories. But sometimes it's nice to just have the characters learn the things with us and talk through that. And that was a nice touch to this episode.
Yes, and I think that's a nice touch right now for what's going on in society, particularly with AI. It can be useful, it can be dangerous.
Very Trident did not make that connection. So could this grief therapy technology, AI, does that come back as some kind of a thing that could be good, but also bad if we're not using it well?
Well, I think anything can be good or
Yeah.
bad depending on how you use it.
Yeah, that was kind of what we were saying earlier, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go there with that. I just got done with winter semester exams, so that's all I was going with it.
Oh.
Yeah, fun. Well, anything else we want to discuss with this episode?
The replicated Mofongo that
Oh gods, yeah. The very end.
Well, and also Book admitting he loves Michael still, and
Mm-hmm.
and Culber asking, "Do you think you can get it back?" And obviously that's setting up something, and I hope that it sets up what I want it to be, which they get back together. So I like that friendship. What do you guys think about that Culber and Book friendship?
I like it too. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, it was an unexpected pairing, but it makes sense. I like it.
Also, that Mofongo looks delicious.
Oh, it does.
Okay, I meant to look this up. What is that?
It's amazing. I've only had it once, and the restaurant I had it in, I'm like, I got to go back here all the time, and then the restaurant closed.
So, isn't that the way?
Yep.
It's a traditional Puerto Rican dish. I've actually only had it once too, actually in a restaurant in San Juan. And yeah,
Star Trek Cruise.
Yes. I have only ever been to Caribbean locations because of the Star Trek Cruise.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That is
jealous.
Yeah, it's fried plantains mashed together with olive oil and garlic and bacon, and then you put other things on it. In this case, it was con pollo al
chicken.
Gio? Yes, which is chicken with garlic sauce.
It's just so incredibly satisfying dish.
Mm-hmm.
You're full afterwards, but it's just like, oh.
That makes me sad though, because I can't eat it because I'm allergic to bananas and plantains.
Oh, that's a shame.
Sad.
Oh, yeah, I mean, because as I said, it's made with bacon, or it's made with bacon or pork rinds, like, so there's bacon fat in it, so like it tastes like so you get that flavor throughout the whole thing. Oh, it's so good.
It's amazing.
That's awesome. All right. Well,
I need to look up if there's a Puerto Rican restaurant anywhere nearby.
there you go. You're near enough major metropolises. I'm sure there's one somewhere.
Well, I'm sure there is one within a few hours. I meant one that I could. Just,
Yeah, that's
like,
what I
get dinner
meant.
from.
Yeah, I didn't mean. No, we can get dinner tonight.
So
I mean, if you're talking
bring it
within a
back to
few
the-
hours, you can go to New York and you'll be set.
Right.
Anyway,
bring it back to the
yes.
episode for a moment.
Yes.
I do an enterprise podcast, and we always talk about the food, and there's a lot of food in enterprise and
Oh,
people
yeah.
eating, and it is nice to have that kind of moment in Discovery too, because we don't get a ton of that. So this was just a great moment, and using that shuttle set, which was pretty cool. I mean, Book is just playing video games essentially, which is neat.
Asteroids,
But
basically.
yeah.
There is literally a mofongo restaurant in Harrisburg.
Ooh.
Well, we know what Thad's having for dinner.
Yeah, it's called Mission Mofongo.
Wow. You know exactly where you're gonna get there.
All
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
No
Anyway,
mysteries.
Now, I know what you mean about the food. I miss seeing the relationships around food when it's not there. I don't, it's like I don't think about it until somebody brings it up or you see it, and it's like, yeah, it's such a huge part of life, and the sharing of food and the breaking of bread, and going from
Communion.
the actual, the literalness of it to the spiritual concept of the breaking of bread as well. So it's just there's a good way to end the episode that I hadn't even thought of.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else we want to say on this?
I need to watch it
episode of Star
more
Trek.
and think about what does the water mean symbolically, because water, especially in the Christian religion, is significant. Communion, food. And why is Whistlespeak the title? Because it just plays a very tiny portion of it.
I think because it's a cool word.
Yeah, it is, but I'm wondering if there's anything else that can connect to what we're talking about. So,
They're trying to bring in confused Bridgerton watchers who think that it says Lady Whistledown.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'll take that.
I don't know. You prompted a thought though. Okay, so this clue had water in it. The next clue has metal, or we assume, since there's a metal card. The first clue was kind of in the ground.
Everything's going to change once the Fire Nation attacks.
I was just going to say, then they find Rava, and the Rava joins with the Avatar, and then,
and
the 10,000 cycles. Yeah.
And Paramount is not going to, do a crossover between two of their franchises, and we're going to get Star Trek Avatar.
Star Trek Avatar in the holodeck. I'll do it. Let's do it.
Sure.
If y'all haven't seen the Avatar or the Legend of Korra, get on it. It's pretty incredible.
It's on the list, but I remember shelving those when they came out in the early aughts, and so it's one of those things like, oh.
Abby's gonna start it this summer, she says. So from First Light
that was
podcast.
one of the things that I had avoided for a long time, but I binged it during the pandemic a few years ago, and Avatar is fantastic. It also has it has a lot of Star Trek voice actors in it. Jason Isaacs, George Takei.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well.
So, and with a plug for Avatar, another Paramount franchise.
Hey,
give Paramount money so that we get more Star Trek.
The more you watch on Paramount Plus, just turn it on during the day and let it go. Leave it for your pet to watch while you're at work. It's all good.
Well, it's interesting because Paramount is devoting, making their own studio and a huger franchise for Avatar, like they've been doing with Star Trek. So it hopefully both remain healthy in whatever company takes over Paramount.
Yeah.
To bring it back to the beginning of the conversation.
Yeah. Oh well.
No, I think
Okay.
that covers most everything. That was a fantastic episode of Star Trek, possibly my favorite of the season.
Wow.
Definitely.
Yeah, I loved it. It was good.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't
All
think
right.
it beats for me Face the Strange, but that
Face
one
the Strange is also
excellent.
really good.
Good for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, Compeer Chris, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can listeners find you online? And what work would you like to mention?
No, thank you guys for having me. I felt seen being requested to talk about the religious episode, so I appreciate that. Yeah, people can find me on the First Flight podcast with my co-host Abby M. Summer, who is a regular discusser of Little House on the Prairie on this here podcast.
Yes, she is.
Which is one of my wife's favorite series, so that's always fun. And yeah, you can also find me on my YouTube channel, Completing the Shelf, where I talk about Star Trek, Star Wars, Disney, things like that. And I'm on Twitter or X at Shelf Nerds, tweeting away about Star Trek.
Yes. Still enjoying your micro treks. Going back and read.
Yeah. They've dried up a little bit. I've been busy, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah. But it's just still there. That's part of Picard in my head. All right. Well, Thad, where can people find you when you're not looking to
ingesting random cubes?
Yeah, I was trying to think of a way to say. Yeah. Thad, where can people find you when you're not about to run a race and you just eat the thing that gets handed to you?
I am unlikely to do either of those things, but best place to find me is on Twitter. I am at Tyrannicus. That's TYRANICUS. I am also under that handle on most of the other social networks. And you can hear me on the podcast I do with my friend Carl called License to Spiel. That's license spelled with a C, like the British do it, where we started out talking about James Bond, and now we talk about other movies and shows that we watch. Chrissie, where can people find you when you're not trying to perfect one of your grandmother's recipes?
That's actually something that I've done. I've not perfected it, but tried to cook my grandmother's recipes. Yeah. So that's cool. All right. Well, in addition to here on Infinite Diversity, you can find me on History with the Szilagys here on the BQN, that twice weekly short history podcast I do with my fellow historian partner Jason. I'm also happy to chat about our shows on the BQN Collective on Facebook and in our Discord server, which is very busy lately. And I'm also on Twitter and Blue Sky at The Goddess Livia. That's TheGoddessLivia, where you can see my opinions about Star Trek history and leftist politics.
Don't forget all our other shows on BQN. Here's Amy Nelson to tell you all about them.
What shows are on BQN, you ask? Well, here's a rundown of some podcasts you might be interested in. All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast covering all of Trek, hosted by Amy, Mark, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristen. Whether you've got Xbox or Nintendo, check out Bargain Bin Gamer, a YouTube show hosted by Davey, a self-proclaimed gamer who specializes in reviewing and showcasing affordable video games. 2 episodes enter the arena, 1 comes out victorious. Join hosts Joe and Kevin and a guest as they debate which should win the Batleth battle. Grab your popcorn as you listen to Cinema Z, a film discussion and review podcast showcasing films you probably missed but should definitely check out. Hosted by Mark and Matt. Don your apron for The Food Replicator, where Matthew eats and drinks his way through the Star Trek cocktail and 3 cookbooks. Beam Aboard Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast covering all of TNG, hosted by Steven. In order to not repeat it, listen to History with the Szilagys, a snippet of historical events from around the world, hosted by Chrissie and Jason. For the newest Trek coverage, check out Infinite Diversity, hosted by Chrissie and Thad. Curl up with a good book and delve into beta canon with Peter, host of the online Trek Book Club on Twitter, and his new companion, Trek Book Club podcast. Test your Trek knowledge with Treksperts Quiz, a Star Trek quiz show hosted and written by Davey. Whether you're a member of Starfleet Federation or Planetary Union, go check out Union Federation, covering current Star Trek and the Orville, which we all know is really a Trek show, hosted by Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley. Head over to YouTube and watch The View Screen live on Sundays, your Trek-inspired talk show hosted by Kelvin and Amy, with Season 2 starting in September for a 10-week run. Spill the tea with Christos while he discusses current Trek news and events and explores the world of fandom via guest interviews, all with a LGBTQIA+ perspective on What's the Tea Bab. And for our Patreon members, we have the Hive Mind with monthly script readings, Let's Fly, a Discovery reaction show, It's Green, a cornucopia of topics, Amy's Math Moments, a quick look at math moments in Star Trek. We know you have a choice of podcasts to choose from, and we thank you for listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
So thank you so much for tuning into Infinite Diversity. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Mark White for the awesome short. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
If you want to reach out, you can find the network on Twitter at BQN Podcasts or our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of the BQN podcasts in our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, and on our Discord server. When you next hear from us, we'll be talking about the Discovery episode Erica. Until then, peace and long life.